welcome to week 7 of the Skoolie conversion, although this is part of week 7 because this week's going to be a little different. I decided to take a break from doing the windows for a little bit because it's been really hot out lately and doing the windows is just super repetitive and super boring, so I wanted to make this week a little more exciting. And even though I've already been talking about the interior layout before, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the details of that, as well as to show off some of the interior photos that I have for inspiration, because I realized I haven't done that yet. So yeah, let's go and check out the back first. So where I'm currently standing right now is the bedroom area. So this is where we are going to have our bed, first of all. This is going to be a queen size bed. And this is going to be a stereotypical bed where the bed is obviously lifted and there's going to be storage underneath that. And back here, we are going to have, this is pretty common with a lot of Skoolies where people will turn this area into like a little shelf, normally where people put like their books, games, sort of like anything you would have in a normal bedroom. And we haven't really decided this yet, but we're thinking of possibly adding in like overhead cabinets on both sides of the bed, maybe just one side. We haven't really decided that yet because we're not too sure yet about how much storage we're gonna need, but that's a possibility. We're not sure exactly where this is going to go yet, but obviously we need somewhere to put our phones, so we were thinking of implementing little cubbies where the bed area is. I'm not sure, it might be like in this corner. I did point out that it could be over here because there's no window here, so it could be on this one or it could be on the other side because the other side has one as well. But yeah, just a place to put like our phones, maybe like a water bottle and stuff like that. And yeah, that about does it for the bedroom. So where I'm currently sitting now is where the shower is going to be. And so we just kind of decided to measure out a standard shower size, which a lot of people do, which is a 32 by 32, and we pretty much decided that this works. It's simple, but it's just enough space to fit 2 people. And it's also, as you can see, this is just the shower. So we have the shower area separated from the toilet and the sink. And the main reason why we decided to do that was so that we could utilize the space better in terms of having a larger bathroom. And now to the other side of the bathroom, which is where the toilet and the sink is, which is right across from the shower. We have decided that we're probably going to put the toilet right here. Obviously there'll be a wall separating, but yeah, it'll basically be right near the bed, and possibly right in front of the door. I think we've decided that we're gonna put the door kind of in front of the toilet. I think there'll be like a sliding door over here. And once we make our way back here, this is where we are going to have our sink area. So our sink is going to come a little bit over the wheel well, which is okay, it works out. That's actually another reason why we wanted to separate things, because we didn't really want to deal with having like a shower over the wheel well or like the toilet, so that's why we decided to put the sink over here. And yeah, it'll pretty much just be like a basic normal sink. It'll have some storage underneath and it'll probably have like a nice little mirror or something like that. When we go over here, we did have a little bit of extra space that we measured out. And obviously we want to make use of as much space as possible for storage. So we have this measured out, possibly be maybe like an electrical room, maybe somewhere to put towels. We haven't really decided on that yet. But yeah, we're definitely going to be using that for something. It might be an electrical room. I'll keep you updated on that if that changes. And the reason why we're not too sure yet is because we already have this nice extra large closet over here. It's basically about the size of the wheel well. This is going to be like a standard closet you might see in some Skoolies where it'll have the storage underneath where we're probably going to put stuff like electronics, maybe extra stuff like towels and sheets. But the main thing I really wanted to make sure was that we had enough space to put our electronics, such as like our cameras and drones, stuff like that, that we're not going to have room for in our office area. And above that will basically just be where we can hang some clothes. I don't think it'll be super huge because we're gonna have plenty of storage in other areas for clothes. That's kind of why we haven't decided yet if we're gonna have the overhead storage in the bedroom, because we might have plenty of room in our normal closet. But yeah, as we keep going back here, this is where we start to enter the kitchen area. And as you can see, this is not a stereotypical open layout that most Skoolies have. we decided on an L-shaped layout because we're a couple, you know, it's nice to have those separate rooms and to be able to have, you know, time away from each other. That's always a nice thing to have. And basically this L doesn't come all the way out like a normal L shape does, because a lot of times the L will come all the way and then the hallway will be on the side. But because I didn't want to have to deal with stepping over the wheel well, we decided to make the L come out a little shorter and to make what we call the zigzag hallway, which is basically where we are going to be walking like this. We're not going to have to walk over the wheel well, and it'll just come out like this, like a normal hallway. But yeah, so our kitchen is actually laid out pretty big. It goes pretty far. It's definitely a big thing that we wanted, was to make sure we had a decent sized kitchen. And our pantry is just going to be over here. It'll be just like a normal pantry. One thing that is a little different though is that we're not going to have like a pull-out pantry like a lot of people have. It'll kind of be laid out like a stereotypical like house pantry, maybe a little bit smaller, but we really wanted plenty of space to have a normal sized pantry. And right beside it will just be our fridge. And as we keep going, our kitchen just continues to extend. We're gonna have plenty of room to put things that we love, such as a nice stove, a sink, maybe a blender, air fryer, stuff like that. I do have it laid out in our software where things are going to go specifically. I'm not sure how much that will change depending on dimensions, maybe positioning, but right now we're pretty set on this entire layout and where things will go. I don't think the pantry or the fridge will change that much. And yeah, as we exit the kitchen, this is where we are going to have our nice little lounge area with our couch. That is going to be a pull-out couch that converts into a bed. We do have a tiny little space here. We were thinking of adding like a nice little table beside the chair, you know. Obviously it's where we can have our phones or, you know, like a water bottle, keys, stuff like that. I was looking at photos of couches where the little side tables were already kind of built into the couch, so I'm not too sure if we're gonna need this much space for a table. So at the very least we might extend that counter space, or it might be a bigger couch. Honestly, it could vary. So it's good to have that extra space though, just in case something changes. And yeah, so this is the office area. What I really like about the positioning of the office area is that it's right across from the lounge area. So we're gonna have our computers here and we'll be able to use our monitors that sort of like TVs, because we're not gonna have actual TVs in here. So it's gonna be nice to have those monitors and to be able to stream right across from the office area into the lounge area. And yeah, this is a pretty big space. It basically ends just before the seat. So it's a pretty decent area because me and Kevin both have computers and Kevin wants to have his own little workspace. So it's pretty big, but it's a good size for what we're gonna need it for. And before I forget, I think we did decide that we are going to have, you know, like upper storage in the kitchen area. I'm not sure if we really decided if we're gonna have it in the office area yet. We might. That's all just gonna depend later on, because I think with the way our desk is gonna be built, we might have some sort of like built-in storage for that too, like normal desks. But there is a good chance that we're probably at least gonna have some overhead storage in the kitchen area at least. But yeah, as we come back here, this is our little cockpit area. We're gonna try to keep as much of this as original as possible. We might keep the original chair, we're not too sure yet. We're gonna keep the mirror, obviously. The little light monitor here we would like to keep too. And one thing that I noticed that's really popular with Skoolies is that a lot of people will turn this into a shelf too, kind of like how they do it with the bedroom area too. Like I said, we really want to try to keep this as original as possible. So I think what we're gonna try to do here is probably just keep this area similar. I don't think we're really gonna cut in anything and really make this bigger, because it just looks cool. Plus, I don't think we're gonna need a whole lot of storage up here, considering the fact that we're gonna have plenty of storage anyways. So yeah, it'll be nice to keep this area as original as possible. Not too sure what we're gonna put in this area yet. It'll probably just be random stuff, maybe stuff for like the cars, or for the bus, obviously, like stuff to work on the bus maybe. There's already a fire hydrant in here and first aid kits in here, so we're probably gonna keep that in there too. But yeah, that about does it for the front area. All right, and for the last part, I really wanted to mention this little spot that we are thinking about turning into a shoe rack. This is a pretty typical area people will put shoe racks. Sometimes they'll put them on the other side where we have the couch, but I feel like this is the most convenient area because we really didn't know what else to do with this area. So I feel like that's a great way to make use of this little empty space here. And another thing I want to mention is what we're going to be doing with these steps here. So one thing that I really would love to do is to add sort of like how welcome rugs are, where you can, you know, drag your shoes on them to kind of make sure they're not dirty anymore. I would love to add some sort of consistency like that on here. At the very least, if we don't do that, I have seen this in a lot of Skoolies where people will add little designs on the little walls here of the steps. I think that would be really cute. I would love to add something that would match the exterior of the bus, which will be a nice dark blue. And speaking of that, before I forget, I would like to add some of those dark blues in the inside of the bus too, because I think it would be cool because it would match the exterior of the bus. I really would love the shower specifically to be blue. I think that would really be a nice thing. I found this perfect photo of exactly what I would love to have in the shower. It does have tiles in it. I know some people say tiles break in the bus, but there are some people that have said that they've had tiles for years and it worked fine. So we'll see. I'm willing to take that risk because I would love to have a bathroom I'm proud of. One thing I also wanted to mention about the overall interior of the bus is that I've thought about this since I was a young teenager. So I've been pretty set on what I want in terms of an interior layout, which is going to be a nice little cabin vibe. There's going to be a lot of light colors. If we use any sort of darker wood, it's going to be very little because I want to make use of as much natural light as I can with the brighter colors. But yeah, it'll basically just be this nice cabiny vibe, and it'll have little blues scattered out to match the exterior. And yeah, that about does it for the tour of our future home. I do want to give a quick shout out to Van Space 3D. This is not sponsored. I just wanted to mention that they have been a big part in planning out this interior, especially the dimensions and the whole layout. They're super cheap and they are also beginner friendly. So yeah, I just wanted to mention them because they are perfect for any sort of beginner Skoolie builder. And yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.